Welcome back to Wall Again, where passion meets music, and it just dawned on me the other day that I didn't do a full gig review of the Turnstile gig that I attended in Dublin about 2 weeks ago. So let's get into this. Turnstile played Dublin on the 1st of November 2025. The venue was the 3 Arena. So myself and Gav from That Sound podcast headed up to the gig. We originally had the tickets for the first venue that was announced, which was the National Stadium, a very small venue with a capacity of around 1,000 people. So needless to say, the tickets were like gold dust for that and sold out very quick. So they decided to put on upgrade the show to the 3 Arena in Dublin, which is a much bigger venue. Now, it was a standing only gig, and usually that venue has a mix of standing and seating for gigs like this. But I reckon there was about 7, maybe 8,000 people in the arena on the night. So a big crowd there, and it was great buzz. So me and Gav headed up. We left here around probably 4 o'clock. So we were up nice and early, got parked, and we actually had time to queue up early. And we ended up getting into the venue whatever time the gates opened. It was around 6:30, and we got right up to the rail. So we were on the barrier there, right beside the stage. Now, there was actually quite a gap between the barrier and the stage. So if you're familiar with any Turnstile shows, you'll know that people, their fans, like to jump up on stage with the band and then dive off and somersault off, and it's all part of the show, and it looks like a great high energy show. But there was such a big gap. I'd say it was probably in the order of about 5 or 6 meters, maybe 20 feet. And yeah, there was nobody going to get up on that stage on that night. But we were happy with our position on the rail. We were right in front of where Pat McCrory, the guitar player, would be coming out and playing. So we were pretty happy with the location. Got chatting to some people at the gig. There was a good few people in early. But then the first band came on, Gurriers. They were really good, actually. I think they're from County Monaghan. I think they're from Castleblaney. But they were really good. They're a punk band. They're no holds barred, and they really got the crowd going. Intensity started building then for Turnstile, and then High Vis came out, and I thought they were excellent. They're a well rehearsed band, there's no doubt about that. They've been doing the circuit for a long time now, and you can really see that in their music. I thought they were good. I don't know if like hardcore punk or punk in general, not really my style. And as Turnstile have moved into a more mainstream band, that's why I've got, more on board. It's not just because they're popular. It's actually their music is kind of more produced, and they have more kind of rock and pop elements in their music, and metal as well, not just the hardcore punk side. So anyway, they finished up. High Vis, they played a really good set, and then everyone was looking forward to Turnstile coming out. So Turnstile came out right on time. I think it was 9 o'clock they were due to start, and they came on bang on 9. So they came out anyway, and basically kicked off with Never Enough. So that's the opening track from the latest album, Never Enough, title track off that album. And they came out, Pat came out on our side, and he was actually wearing an Irish rugby jersey. Now, Pat's name, Pat McCrory, you would imagine he's got some Irish heritage back there in the generations somewhere. But yeah, he seemed to be wearing his heart on his sleeve anyway in Ireland, which was great to see. Then we also had the rest of the band there that were in fine form. So Turnstile was on the other side of the stage. He's playing, Franz Lyons, he's playing the bass. We had Daniel Fang on drums at the back, Meg Mills on guitar, she was on the other side of the stage, and then of course Brendan Yates on lead vocals at the front. So I actually ended up getting a set list, so I'm going to run through the set list and then I'll explain to you how we got the set list. So they started off with Never Enough, and then straight into TLC, which is absolutely brilliant. Then we got Endless, A Little Break, then I Care, Dull, Don't Play, Real Thing, and Drop. So they did a lot of songs from the first 2 albums as well, but the majority of the material was from the last 2 albums. Okay, so from Glow On and from Never Enough. And just to say, like, I've never been a massive fan of hardcore punk, as you know, but the way I got into this band was they were nominated for Grammy Awards in 2022. And I always like to keep an eye on the Grammy Awards, not for who wins, I don't really care who wins, but it's just to kind of get a sense and take a pulse on what's happening in the music industry at the moment. So if a band is getting nominated for Grammy Awards, I'll go check them out and see what they're like. And that's exactly what happened with me with Turnstile. That album, Glow On, was released, I think, in 2021, but it was nominated for Grammys in 2022. And then when I went and looked up Turnstile, and I started listening to that album that was nominated, Glow On. It absolutely blew me away, and I've been a fan ever since. So that's how I got into the band. Not very punk rock, looking out for the Grammys to see what this band are like, but that's just the way I came to find them. So when they released the new album this year, I was very excited, and I was hoping that they would tour Ireland because they never played Ireland before. And lo and behold, they did announce the tour and they were coming, so it was absolutely great to see them. But just to say, on the Grammys, Turnstile have been nominated for, I think it's 5 or 6 Grammys for this year's Grammy Awards. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they'll actually pick up a Grammy, and like how odd would that be, like a hardcore punk band picking up a Grammy. Kind of reminds me of when Metallica broke through to pick up their very first Grammy way back in the day. A real underground band, but they're coming into the mainstream now, and I really feel this band Turnstile has that trajectory as well. So moving on with the set list here, they played Light Design, then Phase, Sun Shower, and then some more stuff off their earlier EPs, and then they played Soul. They had a little break, then went into Ceiling and Seeing Stars, followed by Holiday, and then they finished off with the encore with Mystery, Blackout, and then they finished with Birds, which was absolutely insane. So throughout the show, just a couple of things to point out. Pat actually flicked his pick, his plectrum, his guitar pick, out into the crowd, and my mate Gav, who was standing right beside me, caught it in his hoodie like this and was able to salvage it. So Gav has that nice memento there back in his studio on That Sound podcast, so be sure to go check out That Sound podcast, because there's loads of great stuff going on there, including a new radio show that me and Gav have started over the last week there. Well, Gav started the first session and I've come in on the second session, but really enjoying doing that. But so Gav was speaking to security as well, and he was asking for a set list at the end, and security managed to get some set lists, well, actually photocopies of the original set lists, and gave them out to a number of people in the front row. So Gav picked up 2, and hence the reason why I have this one here. So you can see there it says Aaron Go Brack, Ireland Forever, and it's got the symbol there as well, and then we've got the set list written out. So I think Turnstile were very appreciative to play Ireland. I think they really feel that the Irish people have like a nice affinity with Turnstile in terms of the passion for the music, but also our beliefs in terms of like social justice and equality. I won't go any more than that into the politics, but they really resonated with the message that the Irish people were saying at the gig. So so that was great. So we hung around for a little bit after the gig was finished, and then the band, actually 2 of the members of the band came down and went across the whole rail and shook hands and chatted briefly to basically every member of the crowd the whole way across. And there was a young guy next to me. He was only 14, but he had bought the Never Enough vinyl, and he was looking to get it signed. So Brendan came through first. So I just, said, Brendan, well done, great show. He was very appreciative. And I just said, would you mind signing this guy's vinyl, just in case he passed him by? And Brendan was happy to sign it. And then Daniel, the drummer, came down and he signed the vinyl as well. And we were chatting to him for a couple of seconds. But yeah, really cool guys. They seem to be, at one with the audience, which is great to see in this day and age. But I have to say, it was an amazing show. It really, really blew me away. I don't get on the rail for that many shows, and like, hats off to Gav. He really wanted to push and get up on the rail for this gig. I would have been happy to stand back. It looked like there was chaos ensuing behind us. There was circle pits, there was mosh pits, there was people crowd surfing the whole time. Basically every 2 minutes there was someone you had to watch back, because someone was coming over your head to get dropped down in front and get recirculated back into the crowd. But it was an amazing show. They really blew me away, and it was everything I expected it would be. They sounded really, really good. They were tight, and the crowd were just on top form for this one. If you've seen any videos of the gig in Dublin, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So that's my review of Turnstile's gig at the 3 Arena in Dublin. I thought it was one of the best gigs of the year, certainly up there, probably top 2 or 3. I still have a few more gigs to go to this year. I'm actually going to see Bob Dylan next week, which will be an odd experience, but I've never seen him live, so he's one that I have to tick off my bucket list. And I'm also going to see The Answer towards the end of the year as well, late November I think that one is, and they will be covering Led Zeppelin's 1971, or commemorating Led Zeppelin's 1971 concert in the Ulster Hall, which is apparently the first time Led Zeppelin ever played Stairway to Heaven live. So The Answer are playing the Ulster Hall on 29th November, and I'm going up to that one as well. But yeah, listen, if you liked the video, stick a like on it. If you could also subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let me know in the comments below if you listen to Turnstile, if you like them. Let me know what you think of them. Also, if you have seen them live, please let me know in the comments below. Or if you haven't heard of them and don't like them, tell me why you don't like them. I would love to hear your opinion one way or the other. And I will talk to you on the next one. Bye for now.